I think that women should know that ovarian cancer is a sneaky disease. It hides, it's hard to diagnose, and it requires a woman to really listen to her body and advocate for any changes that she notices. Ovarian cancer is not detected by a pap smear, which a lot of women think that it is, and it is not. My initial symptoms during diagnosis or previous to diagnosis were bloating, weight gain. I was told that I had IBS. I was told I was in early menopause, and it took them 10 weeks to diagnose me. It's not an old lady disease. Ovarian cancer can strike any woman at any age, and a lot of people think that it is a postmenopausal disease, and it is not. And I was diagnosed at age 40 with no family history and not one risk factor.
The number one thing women should know is the pap test does not test for ovarian cancer, only for cervical cancer. The main symptoms of ovarian cancer, they are bloating, feeling full quickly, abdominal pain, and urgency and frequency of urination. We have the NICU Circle information and support programs, the resource directory. We also have comfort kits that help a woman going through chemotherapy. There's a blanket and some fuzzy slippers and a lot of information. But mostly, I think, is to not compare yourself to these statistics, because each person is an individual. I was diagnosed with metastasized ovarian cancer, and my prognosis wasn't very great, but here I am. It's almost 9 years, and I am still here talking to you today. The very first race was such a surprise to us because we expected 1,000 people, and we got 1,700 people. It was simply amazing. It was a coming together of the ovarian cancer community. Everyone was so happy to see all these other people that were connected to ovarian cancer, because it's not a rare disease, but it's unusual. So women feel kind of alone. We had women come who'd never met anyone else with ovarian cancer, and they were so happy and excited and realized that they had a chance to keep living, and that there were all these other people who were pulling for them. It was just marvelous.
For me, like so many other women, my case, I was misdiagnosed and my symptoms were overlooked. For 4 months, I went to the doctor complaining about bloating, about not only bloating, but about lower abdominal pain, and I also had fatigued all of the time. There is no age for women that can be affected by ovarian cancer, so all women are at risk for ovarian cancer. Women need to know that there's not a screening tool for ovarian cancer. And the last thing that I'd like to say is they need to know that they need to be their own advocate. Anytime you have symptoms lasting more than a couple of weeks, to please go see your doctor and talk to them about the possibility of it being ovarian cancer. It's a blast. I absolutely love it. Since I am a survivor, and for all survivors, they have a survivor's breakfast. And we're just pampered, and we get a bag full of goodies. So it's kind of like going to the Oscars. Women see your beads, they're going, oh my gosh, how many years is that? So it's just a wonderful, wonderful time to share with everyone's survival. 7 of my family members were with me, and so just to have that fellowship and for all of us to be there for one accord was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, so with regards to breast and ovarian cancer, the most common gene that people are aware of, or the most common genes, are BRCA1 and BRCA2. There are other genes that are associated with ovarian cancer running in families, but when we think about breast and ovarian cancer tied together, those are the two that people are most commonly aware of or most commonly hear about. If you have Ashkenazi Jewish background, which means ancestors from Eastern or Central Europe, and you're Jewish, then really any family member with breast or ovarian cancer should sort of raise the red flag for considering BRCA genetic testing. Honestly, anyone who's been diagnosed with ovarian cancer could consider that type of genetic testing regardless of their family history. Otherwise, we look for combinations of multiple family members with breast cancer, sometimes at younger ages, or a combination of breast and ovarian cancer in the family.
It's important for persons that have a history of cancer in their family. Myself, I've had my mom and my grandma, they developed breast cancer at an early age, and my doctors always warned me against breast cancer and always to check for that, but they never told me to watch out for ovarian cancer. And so I think that's also important, is you should realize that ovarian and breast cancer are correlated, and if you have the BRCA gene, that is definitely something that you should watch out for. I tested positive for the BRCA1 gene.